Charter Review Committee starts town dialogue. The Charter Review Committee, having been given the task of reviewing the current charter and recommending any changes that are deemed helpful, is working on a proposal to appear on the warrant at the Spring Town Meeting, 2010. We believe that the voters of Wareham should be informed, ahead of time, of not only the content of that proposal, but the thoughts and considerations that went into it. We believe, also, that you should have an opportunity to ask questions, or ask for clarification, make comments, express concerns and hopes and worries, etc., before being asked to vote aye, or nay, on the warrant article. Therefore, the Charter Committee has planned a program of information and interchange that all can participate in. We will start by informing you, both on the town's website and in the local papers, how the committee approached the options available to us, and our thinking, and in-process decisions. Beginning the first week of September, we will outline the recommended changes to the charter. We will offer a variety of different ways for you to give feedback to, and get responses from the committee, so that your comments can be shared, your questions answered, and your concerns addressed. In addition, the committee will be using our local cable TV station, WCTV, as another means to provide you with information, as well as to ask questions and give feedback. We are also planning to hold public meetings at different times to meet the voters' differing schedule and needs. The purpose of all this is to keep the committee in touch with voter sentiment and ideas and to help you, the voters, to make an educated decision as to the future of our town. Look for an explanation of the original options available to the committee in next week's newspaper. Beginning the process of charter review. Some of you just want to read what recommendation the Charter Review Committee is going to make, why we're making it, and what it means for Wareham, if it's passed. Those questions will begin to be addressed next week, but there are those of you who first want to know how we got to this point, and want to understand what the rules were, and be assured that we followed all the rules, and this article answers those concerns. Any Charter Review Committee has to work within the rules set by Massachusetts state law. Those rules state that we had to choose between two options. 1. We could accept that the basic form of our town government, 5 selectmen and open town meeting, was serving the community well. Then we could go through the charter line by line, responsibility by responsibility, and recommend administrative or organizational changes, such as establishing a new position in town, consolidating 2 functions, example, public works and finance, into a single department, adding or subtracting duties and responsibilities of a particular department head, or allowing a specific committee to partake of negotiations previously not permitted. There were also some structural changes we could recommend, such as changing a particular position from an elected one to an appointed one, or consolidating 2 similar positions in different departments into one position. We would then make our recommendations to the Board of Selectmen, whose task would be to place them on the warrant for Wareham voters by majority vote to approve or not. This process is called using bylaws and permissive legislation. Or, 2, we could decide that the current basic form of our town government was not serving us well. If we decided that our town government of 5 selectmen and an open town meeting was no longer working well to efficiently and fairly run our town, we could choose a new form of town government from amongst several options. But that meant dealing with 2 immediate changes. First, with most of the options open to us, we no longer had the right to make any recommendations about administrative or organizational adjustments. In most cases, it would be the right and responsibility of the newly formed town government to review and decide upon such changes. Secondly, we could no longer make our recommendations as simple warrant articles, see above bylaws and permissive legislation. We would have to either set in motion the election of a charter commission to write a new charter, or else write it ourselves under what is known as the Special Acts provision. Our first task therefore was to answer the question, is our present form of government working for us fairly and efficiently? Each of us had read the current charter carefully, and after discussion concluded that we could not address the larger issues that besieged Wareham simply by making organizational and administrative changes. We were unanimous in our conclusion that a more basic change in our form of government was needed. So, would we take the Charter Commission route, or proceed under the Special Acts provision? We compared both options. The Charter Commission would require a town-wide petition to gather signatures of 15% of registered voters, over 2,000 people, to allow for an election of commissioners, then time for candidates to campaign for an election, and then either 1 or 2 years later, the charter proposal prepared by the Commission, if approved by the State Attorney General, would be presented to voters at a municipal election. We saw that this route would likely require 2 or more years to completion. In the Special Acts procedure, the committee writes the new charter to be presented as a warrant article at town meeting for majority approval. If approved, the petition is reviewed by the state legislature and then returned to Wareham for a town-wide ballot vote. This process can be accomplished in little over 1 year. It is this route, Special Acts, the Charter Committee has decided on. Next week we'll communicate the thinking that led to opting for a new form of government.